The Russian military continued to strike with various weapons at Luhansk region, trying to completely destroy the civilian population, infrastructure, and residential areas of the region. The head of Luhansk Regional Military Administration, Serhiy Haidai, reported about it. He said that in Rubizhne, one of the neighborhoods had been destroyed to the ground in recent days. One person was killed and 5 others were injured yesterday. On April the 6th, the occupying forces shelled the old part of Severodonetsk. 9 high-rises are on fire at once. Haidai wrote that the hits had been aimed, mostly hitting the roofs to completely destroy the houses. They also hit a previously shelled shopping center. In total, during the past 24 hours, on April the 5th, the Russian military fired on 8 settlements in Luhansk region. Police registered 81 cases of mortar and artillery shelling, multiple rocket launchers, and aircraft. In the town of Derhachi in Kharkiv region, 34 houses have been damaged in the last 24 hours as a result of shelling by the Russian army. Derhachi is located 30 kilometers from Russia. Since the beginning of the invasion, about 100 private houses, educational institutions, cultural centers, outpatient clinics, medical institutions have been damaged by shelling, and the city hall has been completely destroyed. Russian troops fired on power substations and high-voltage lines. All settlements of the Derhachi community have been without electricity for 20 days. In the city itself, half of the population is without electricity. There are no surviving houses left in the village of Novoselivka near Chernihiv after the Russian occupation. A mixture of bricks, metal, and personal belongings, completely burnt cars, a bomb that didn't explode in the middle of the road, and the funnels deeper than human height. Before the war, about 1,000 people lived in Novoselivka. Now some of them are coming back and dismantling the blockages. Among them is Volodymyr. The man said that before the war he had just finished repairs. Now he shows what is left of his home.
I have a son. He will be 4 in July. We have just made a room for him. We invested money in it. For a year and a half, 120,000 was spent on the insulation alone, the only thing that has remained. This was my barn, and this was the garage. And where the fire was, there was a gazebo.
Volodymyr and his relatives survived air bombardment, shelling, and fires in nearby houses in Novoselivka. They were hiding in this basement.
17 people were originally, children, old ladies.
Then the neighbors had to be taken out of the shelling.
I was taking old ladies out, along the way picked the neighbors up. I evacuated 10 more people. I stayed in the city, and then I was not allowed here.
Pope Francis unfurled a Ukrainian flag brought from Bucha. He called for prayers for the innocent victims and for an end to the war in Ukraine.
The latest news about the war in Ukraine, instead of bringing relief and hope, shows new atrocities, such as the massacre in Bucha. More and more abominable acts of cruelty have also been committed against the civilian population, defenseless women and children. These are victims whose innocent blood cries out to heaven and begs, "Let this war be put to an end. Make the weapons silent. Let no more death and destruction be brought. Let us pray for this together."
Preghiamo insieme su questo. Questa bandiera
This flag came from the war, from the long-suffering city of Bucha, and there are also several Ukrainian children who are now here with us. Let us greet them and pray for them together.
Salutiamoli e preghiamo insieme con loro. Questi bambini
These children had to flee and come to a foreign land. This is one of the consequences of war. Let's not forget about them. Let's not forget about the Ukrainian people.
non dimentichiamoli e non dimentichiamo il popolo ucraino.
Musician Denis Masazhenko, who comes from Lysychansk in Luhansk region, studied in Kharkiv and has lived in Cherkasy for the past 5 years. His family and friends remained in his hometown, where he spent his childhood and youth. He says he will never see some of them again because of the war. To support the patriotic spirit of Cherkasy residents and migrants, he plays in the streets every day. And starting from February the 24th, he begins each performance with the anthem.
A musician is first and foremost an emotion. When you give something, it comes back to you 3, 4 times more. So don't be afraid to be honest.
Бути щирим.